Welcome back, viewers. A controversy has taken shape over the demand seeking release of 36 prisoners, including 16 who are involved in the 1998 Coimbatore bomb blast. The BJP and the DMK are squaring off against each other over the motion passed by some opposition parties, including the AIADMK in the State Assembly, calling for the release of the prisoners. On the floor of the House, the AIADMK leader Edappadi Palaniswamy here urged the government to release 36 prisoners who are in prison for over 20 years, considering their old age and illness. While Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has been taking aim at the AIADMK for citing the religion of the prisoners, the BJP is alleging the ruling DMK of attempting to actually appease the minority voters. DMK, on its part, affirms no law has been flouted and that it wasn't the DMK that chose the prisoners. The party further took aim at the BJP with respect to the early release of the convicts in the Bilkis Bano case and said, well, this was an actual failure. Now let's listen to some of the reactions that have come.
We do not say he's a Muslim prisoner, he's a Dalit prisoner, he's a ex-prisoner or Y prisoner. We see them as prisoners. The DMK believes in humanity on humanitarian grounds. We want to ensure the liberty that these citizens of the country should get. It's surprising that the BJP is, saying that the whole issue of Muslims, it is the BJP who is making this into a communal issue. So what happened in Bilkis Bano's case? They have flouted all the norms where there should be a legal expert. They took the legal expert and replaced them with BJP legislators, and then they favored the release of people who were accused of communal violence.
What do these people mean by Muslim prisoners? Where these Muslim prisoners comes from? Is that not communal? This is the first objection. So-called Muslim prisoners whom these people want to release were involved in the Coimbatore bomb blast in 1998. So they are not murder convicts, they are terrorists. This is really shameful, and we condemn this, that these people are trying to give a picture to terrorists as Muslims. They want to slowly put the blame on the governor, because the governor cannot pass the bill due to legal issues. So they will put the blame on the governor in order to get minority votes.
Having deceived by the yet another fake promise of M.K. Stalin, the Muslim Brotherhood had reached out to our leader Edappadi, seeking his attention and intervention for the release of prisoners languishing in the jail beyond 2 decades. Our leader Edappadi has moved a notion in the assembly to release them on humanitarian grounds, because it seems to be an endless wait for those prisoners having served their term and still languishing there in jails beyond that term. This is purely as per the provisions and as per the ambit of the law. There is nothing beyond it.
Well, my colleague Dharni has more details. Well, Dharni, have we seen the end of politics on this, or is it just going to continue in Tamil Nadu? What's the latest?
Well, in response to Edappadi Palaniswamy's calling attention motion, the Chief Minister has told that they have in fact sent files of 49 convicts to Governor R.N. Ravi for his approval to release them. And out of these 49 convicts, 20 of them are Muslims who have been, in jail for more than 20 years for various crimes. Whether this includes the Coimbatore blast convicts or not is something that we have to wait and see. The Chief Minister has not given a lot of clarity on that, angle. But for the moment, he has told that files of 49 people have been sent to Governor R.N. Ravi for his assent, for premature release, and the governor is sitting, in that, decision. He is there to take any decision on that. In case if the governor is going to give a green signal on it, then we are going to release them, is what the Chief Minister has told. So basically, both the parties, ADMK and the DMK, they are accusing each other of trying to appease the minority vote bank. The DMK is telling that ADMK brought this calling attention motion to appease the Muslim vote bank. On the other hand, the ADMK is also accusing the DMK of the same reason. So both the parties are just trying to accuse each other of trying to appease the minority vote bank. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to play out. But for the moment, technically talking, the files are with Governor R.N. Ravi for files of 49 convicts, which includes 20 20 Muslims. They are pending with governor. Once the governor decides to release them, if and when he gives a green signal, those 49 people will be released in the first phase of early release.
Okay, thanks, Dharani. We have Narayanan Thirupathy, BJP Vice President, with us. We also have Mr. Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, political analyst, Kovai Satyan from the AIADMK. I'm going to take this across to Mr. Narayanan Thirupathy first. We just heard him as well a little while earlier. Mr. Thirupathy, what's the main grouse here?
See, this Muslim prisoners, as quoted by the government, the Muslim prisoners are not murderers. They are terrorists. They have been charged in terror activities involved in. They were involved in 1998 Coimbatore bomb blast, who were responsible for more than 60 lives, and several hundred people were wounded, and also crores and crores of rupees worth properties were damaged, and that is why the DMK government last week in the Honorable Supreme Court has very clearly said that these people cannot be let off because they were responsible for this very serious bomb blast that took place in 1998. Last week, the same government, the DMK government, goes to Supreme Court and says that they cannot leave this. Now, within a week's time, they have come here in assembly and they are making a resolution. And, they say that they will send it to the governor. Now, this is the first objection. We strongly condemn that these people should not be left as quoted by DMK in the Supreme Court. Number two is that where come these Muslim prisoners come? Why they are identifying these convicts as Muslims? What is the reason? Why they should say them as Muslims? And how can you relate this with the religion? So you mean to say that the Muslims are, can you blame on society for these terror activities done by a few individuals? Why you are calling them as Muslim prisoners? That is what we are asking. So there is something, you are unnecessarily bringing in religion here. So will you call in future, will you divide the prisoners as Christian prisoners, Hindu prisoners and Muslim prisoners? Why you are doing this? Because you want to get the minority votes, appeasement. This is called appeasement and this is communal. The
Mr.
DMK
Satyan, would you want to respond to that? This is pure appeasement is the charge.
So let's first understand
It's
on the
communal.
basis
That's
of
what
the
it's
narrative.
communal government.
This is misleading. On the basis of the narrative, it is certainly misleading. Nobody views them in the prison of Muslim, Christian, or Hindu when it comes to releasing of the prisoners on a humanitarian ground. There was a call, there is a need, and there is a representation from the different Muslim unions and Muslim parties taking attention on this issue. And based on the offense and crime committed, the people who are languishing in the prison for more than 2 decades have completed their term. So definitely all cannot be brought under the umbrella term of terrorists. So my request is, let's not look into the narrow prism of everyone who practices Islam or terrorist, or every prisoner who is in prison for some offense or crime committed are terrorists. So that's not the case. What is surprising is, from the year 2015 to 2021, in AIADMK rule, where BJP were an ally, 15 of those prisoners were released. Couple of them have completed their term, couple of them have taken the legal remorse. What is surprising is there were no objections from anybody. Why this particularly taken as a special motion in the assembly? This is turning communal. This is purely based on humanitarian grounds and as per the law, as per the books of law, and whatever is the legal remorse that one can take, it is based on that. There is nothing more to it and there is nothing appeasement. It is purely on humanitarian grounds. And the data will prove it. On everybody who is serving more than 2 decades also are not tried under the Terrorist Act. Based on the crimes and offences committed, the Honorable Court, the judges have awarded the punishment. They are being sentenced based on the offence and crime committed, and they have served their time. And there cannot be endless wait. This is what similarly happened in Pererivalan case, who is accused of murdering Rajiv Gandhi. Because of the failure of the system, court has to intervene and it has to invoke its own powers to release. There are examples, earlier examples. And when it comes to humanity, let's set aside this communal angle, let's set aside this polarization angle, and let's talk about what is right and what is wrong.
Okay, Mr. Harish Mohammed, how are you reading this? We've heard from the BJP and the AIADMK. I'm unable to hear you. If you're on mute, please unmute yourself before you speak.
Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Yes, now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I want to make sure to clear the facts on the air. As per Mr. Narayanan Thirupathy, sir, who has categorically said that it has been the Supreme Court direction was not given. But whatever the remission, whoever completed the conviction period of 10 years and 20 years have been taken into account by the constitution body, which is headed by a chief retired judge, Mr. Adinathan, sir. And only with
Their concern is identification as Muslims. Why is that happening is the biggest concern.
No, you give me a... You made the BJP spokesperson spoke.
Go ahead. Please go ahead. I was just adding.
Before hearing me, you are keeping an...
Please go ahead.
So only after going through a series of 560 above prisoners who have been on the humanitarian ground, only the 49 people on the first lot have been given to the governor's concern. And only with the governor's court to release the convicts on a humanitarian basis who have completed, only then they will be going for the release of the prisoners under the term which has been used even by the predecessor governments for 115th centenary anniversary, 100th centenary anniversary for late MGR. Even the Dharmapuri convicts who have been going through even without even completing the trial of 14 years, they have been released by the then ADMK government. That is not an issue over here, but the issue which has been raised by the BJP, who are the people who released even the trial convict Sadhi Thakur as an MP, sitting MP here, preaching moral grounds is an unwarranted DMK government on the grounds of the Supreme Court, which has been set aside to release the prisoners who have been on a humanitarian basis, who have been legally challenged, and he has been convicted, and then they will be released on the humanitarian justice basis, and not here whether the DMK government has been under unlawful activities. They are, as a law-abiding state and a government, the DMK government will follow all the due diligence before releasing any convicts after the consent given by the governor, which has been constituted by the Supreme Court Chief Justice Mr. Adinathan's recommendation. So there is no foul play over here, which has been cried out by the BJP state government, where they have been doing all the illegal activities by releasing all the convicts, and they will be having all the convicts under their own belt in the Tamil Nadu state BJP party. Whoever the convicts of all the illegal activities and all the illegal convicts are there in the BJP party, and they are preaching the...
Mr. Thirupathy, come in, please. I want you to respond. Okay, we've given you sufficient time to make your point. Let's also bring in the other panelists. Mr. Thirupathy, he says there's no foul play here. It's only on humanitarian grounds. It's unnecessarily being politicized.
Deepak, there are only two things again I am telling you. The same DMK government in last week in Supreme Court has very clearly said that these people are very dangerous. They cannot be let off because they have got connections in Coimbatore terror modules, and they have, if they are let off, then there will be a very big law and order problem, and the communal problems will come. This is what the DMK government has given affidavit in this Honorable Supreme Court, and that is why the Supreme Court has rejected their appeal or bail application, number one. Number two, my question is very, very simple. Why are you quoting them as Muslim prisoners? That is what we are asking. Why? Why this communal color? Why are you communal? You are trying to create a communal divide in the society. My question is simple. Why you are giving color? You are charging BJP that it is a communal party. Now I am telling that the DMK is a communal party because Why, where from that the Muslim prisoners comes? Where from it comes? You tell me why they are doing that. And last week in Supreme Court, you say that if these people are let off, there will be a big problem in Tamil Nadu, in Coimbatore. These people have still have got
Okay.
connection.
I have very
And
little time, Mr.
so many
Thirupathy.
things.
Let's get in a
Now
quick
you tell me
response to the question that you asked quickly from
I will.
Ibrahim and also
Can
Mr.
I ask?
Satyan. Mr. Ibrahim, first to you.
Yeah,
Very
first of
quickly,
all,
please. I have about a minute
Yeah,
left.
yeah. As per Narayanan's rebuttal, there is nowhere indicated that only the Islamist prisoners who is going to be released, because the concern which has been sent to the governor's concern, there is no anywhere it has been written only out of these, only 20 of the prisoners are Islamists. There is no point. Only when the ADMK's opposition leader have raised a query, what does this government done for the Islamist prisoners? Only then, on the 10th of 2023, during the assembly session, the honorable CM of the state have categorically stated that what you have did on the 10 years of your government to release the prisoners, and we have done so many things as according to the law, and the due diligence will follow to all the prisoners and not categorically only to the Islamist prisoners. So this government is full-fledged.
Okay, Mr. Satyan, quickly, 30 seconds.
Law-abiding. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the 49 prisoners who were arrested post 1998 bomb blast incident, 15 were released during AIADMK regime period 2016 to 2021. The CM doesn't know this merits and facts because he is clueless about it. It is because of the false promise of MK Stalin in one of his promises to every Muslim party and organization that once comes to power, he will release the prisoners. But the
Let him complete. Please let him complete. I have very little time.
GO issued by DMK is the stumbling block here. Now they will put the blame on governor, saying that he is the one who is refusing. It is indeed the GO issued by DMK which is a stumbling block on this release. However, AIADMK has taken a stand to release them on the humanitarian ground according to the books of law. So it is the incompetence and false promises and fake narrative of DMK which has led to this fiasco. And it is clear, and everybody understood this in Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Let's, of course, see how the developments take place in the next couple of days. We've already seen very sharp reactions come in from the BJP president himself. I thank Mr. Thirupathy, Mr. Satyan, and Mr. Mohammad Das for joining us today on this debate. We are moving on to some news that's coming in from